This is Jeremy Poplin with Thunder Breakdown.
That's right. It's time for a Thunder Breakdown as we come to you live from the second quarter of NBA Finals game number 2. My name is Jeremy Poplin. As you can tell, we've got a cast and crew of several joining us here this evening. We'll start first. I don't know how this looks on your screen, but in my upper left-hand corner is Toby Rowland. Raven Ray is with us. Seth Becker is with us. My man Arch hanging out as well in his Thunder jersey with his headset on, straight up, looking like he's getting ready to jump on and play some NBA 2K as soon as halftime hits here in a couple of moments. The Thunder have absolutely been pouring it on the Pacers here. And it was a big, I wrote this down, 19-2 run here up until recently that kind of put some separation between OKC and Indiana. So everyone that's watching here, how's everyone feeling? Feeling a little bit better than we were the other night, even though it was a 12-point lead at halftime the other night?
I'm not saying very much because I was very confident last time.
I don't want to commit to anything.
Cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Has anybody let Travis know there's a severe thunderstorm warning inside the Paycom?
Yeah. You know what? With all the weather that's been going on in Oklahoma City, that might even be a category of too soon for this evening with everything that's been going on. Toby, as you've been watching, I believe you're in News 9 building. So what's been standing out to you from the first quarter so far, first half?
I would say right now I feel uncomfortably similar to the way I did in game one. I'll just kind of go through what I wrote down. I thought early on J-Dub looked sped up. He really settled in the second quarter and has been playing with confidence. I thought SGA was incredibly passive, and that's not a criticism, just the first quarter and half of the second quarter, he was really trying to make sure everybody got involved. And then in the last 5 minutes, he's hit the go button, and he's been coming on. They stuck with Queso in the starting lineup, which was interesting, and he scored the first 2 points. We saw the two bigs lineup for the first time tonight, and it looked like it gave Indiana some problems. And then the corner threes, they have kind of figured this out on the TV broadcast, but that's been an issue for Oklahoma City all year. They are dead last in the league in giving up corner threes, and that was in the regular season, not just in the playoffs, and it has carried over certainly into the NBA Finals. So I don't know what kind of adjustment they can do to figure that out, but Indiana's really good at hitting that shot, and Oklahoma City's really good at giving up that shot. So they need to change something there going forward.
I want to stay with your double bigs point here for just 1 second. I saw this stat, and I want to make sure that I get the dates on it correct. Indiana had 2 quarters all year where they failed to score in the paint. One of those was the first quarter tonight. The other one, Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. That's kind of what the double big lineup has at least been able to produce defensively so far tonight for Indiana. And I've always viewed this, guys, as like Chet Holmgren has to outplay Pascal Siakam. He just has to in almost every single game if Oklahoma City wants to win this. And so far, so good for OKC, even though Indiana's making a little bit of a run here to try to close the gap before we get to halftime.
Yeah, I think that was an almost corner three that they just hit right before break there.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Naismith, he can drain those things. They can get on a run just like we can.
Raven, what have you seen so far through the first half?
Chet needs to slow down. He's turned the ball over I don't know how many times just from out of control movements that are just going too fast. He's just trying to make those plays before he even gets the ball. And I will say I'm very intrigued at Dub getting those defensive rebounds pretty early on. It seemed like he was kind of going for those boards every time that they were getting hammered on from game one.
Arch, how many games did you go to this year?
I think I've been to 2 this year. At least 1, maybe 2. I feel like it's 2, but is it bad that I can't remember
every
already?
time I talk to you, you're trying to get tickets or something or go to a game. Like I know you're looking for the T-shirts as well.
We're out there for one of the Minnesota series. I can't remember which game it was now. Oh boy.
Yeah, again, you guys are going to have to inform me on this because I feel like I'm probably like 2 minutes behind you guys on the broadcast.
Yeah, I'm looking at the halftime show desk right now.
What?
So I don't know how far back that puts us.
Well, I'm also on my phone because my TV's on in there, just because I just didn't want to have the background noise of it and all that. But I've got 2 minutes left.
I got 2:36.
Okay.
2:14. Indiana was on a 10-0 run.
I've got 150 left.
Okay, I think I just saw whatever Toby said because I just saw Caruso make his shot.
Hit a three. I got 90 seconds to go in the half here, so
Okay.
I'll try not to.
Okay.
I'll try not
I'm
to
about
react
10
too quickly.
seconds behind you then.
So I should get a
Toby's
bet
got that. Yeah.
Get a bet down now on Caruso.
I'm going to place a bet that we're about to show Don Nelson on the
There it
screen.
is.
So.
Oh, nice. Little Donnie in the house. And I'm just now to the Caruso 3 is where I'm at.
You know, this has been a good first 30 minutes. You wondered after how the last game ended, would Oklahoma City be rattled? And they haven't been. They've played well. But, this doesn't mean anything. As we learned in game one, they've got to come out in the second half and not let Indiana hang around. And, Pop, we talked about that on whatever day game one was. They all run together now, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, either Oklahoma City could finish them or Indiana would hang around, and they hung around. So whatever the halftime margin is here, it's going to be vital that they put them away in the early parts of the third quarter.
I was talking about that earlier today with Steve McGehee. Is as much as we talked about Oklahoma City kind of going through this with game one in Denver and then bouncing back, and they've been very even keel, even after, losses, post-game shoot-arounds. They really haven't had any type of signs of an emotional roller coaster. But I had wondered if we got to game two and it was close in the fourth quarter, whether or not that would start to creep back in of what happened in game one the other night. And also given the history of Indiana in the playoffs so far. I mean, we're all humans. So it can't help but creep in at some point in time if this is close at some point in the fourth quarter, which is back to your point. When you got a chance to put the hammer down, you better do it against these dudes.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the encouraging thing, if you're a Thunder fan, is they have outplayed Indiana for all but 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes in the first two games here. So going forward, that's a great sign. Now, they still trail the series 1-0, but, I mean, they have been the better team for 90% of the NBA Finals so far.
How do we feel about playing Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kendrick Williams pretty early on?
It's been a spark plug. I mean, those guys were great. I mean, Wiggins comes in and has immediate impact. Joe had a tremendous finish.
Yeah.
That to me is Wiggins is just one of those guys that no matter how often or little that he plays, he's just consistent.
Well, he's set to check in with like 10 seconds left in the second half. I don't know if that's gonna, or in the second quarter. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Looks like they're running the clock out.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Wiggins 3 here.
Indiana shoot free throws.
Oh.
I think, I mean, that's a strength of the team, in my opinion, is you don't stop playing everybody now and change the way you've got here. And they play 11 guys. Maybe if a guy doesn't have it, maybe you cut back his minutes a little bit, but their ability to go deep and wear you down is one of the strengths this team has. So I love it then when I see these guys play.
Well, it also helps if you've got this deep bench that you can play the stifling defense that they play, because you've got fresh guys coming off the bench all the time, so you can keep up that pressure.
Well, and to your point, Toby, we saw that a little bit in game one with Mitchell. Right.
Yeah.
Like Mitchell gets some minutes, who has been banged up, not a ton of minutes of the playoffs. He looked a little bit out of place, as I would expect a rookie too that had limited minutes. And when he came out, he even had that look on his face. And Mark was like, all right, you know what? We gave it a try, and now we'll move on. But that's the thing that Mark has done, to your point, the entire year, is continue to mix those guys up.
But you never know how that could pay off later. I mean, he didn't play well the other night, and I know the instinct is to, don't play him anymore. Yeah. But you never know when in game 3 or 4 or 5, he comes in and makes a big bucket for him, and he's a little calmer than he would have been if he hadn't played yet. So I don't mind it at all. I don't think he's the reason they lost the game. And here we go. They got an 18-point lead at halftime and looking good.
What you got to start editing at some point in time? Like what what
So,
are you doing?
here's the great part of me not actually starting till July 1 is I don't know how to edit yet.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm going to have
awesome.
to learn that the next couple of weeks. But Scott and Chris Williams are kind of the ones under the gun tonight, and we got an intern here too. Dean and John are over in obviously Paycom.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in studio, but like I'm in like 5% of the show tonight. It's all pitch to Dean and John and take it back from Dean and John and go to commercial break. So this is the hardest thing I have to do tonight right here.
Man. Yeah, that's a little catbird seat tonight for you for sure.
Yeah.
There is one thing I wanted to bring up a little bit earlier, just before I forget, because I wrote this down. When Halliburton checked out, the Pacers were down 21-20. By the time he had checked back in, they were down 40-27. The Pacers were minus 12 in that 6:43 span that he was off the floor, which, I mean, Captain Obvious here, pretty big for the Thunder in that moment to capitalize on Halliburton being off the floor.
Yeah, the cameras immediately went to him when the Thunder went up 11, and then he had to continue sitting, and the Thunder scored another 3-pointer. Yeah, I noticed that.
Was that the same time that SGA was on the bench as well?
I don't think Shea played the whole first quarter.
Well,
it was in the first quarter.
Well, Halliburton went to the bench, I think, in the second. Now, I think you're right, Seth. He was out. I don't know if he was out for that entire length that Halliburton was out, but he did sit a few moments because I remember them mentioning that.
Shea's got 19 minutes. So,
how many points does he have, Raven?
He's got 15.
They can't guard. They don't have anybody who can stay in front of him.
I mean, yeah.
No.
He's 6 for 11, 1 for 2 for 3.
Yeah, he scored 15 points and really didn't even look to score that half.
How many turnovers did Indiana have?
9. Thunder have 8.
Okay, so they were talking about it some other show that I was watching. Then we had the 20 turnovers in the first half in game 1. We only had 9 points off of those 20 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And this game has been a little different where they don't have double-digit turnovers.
Well, we've already got 10 points off of the 9.
Okay, so we're already ahead of what we had in game 1.
Yes.
But they're still finding a way to score without having to force a ton of turnovers. And
26 points in the paint.
Yeah, which is what this team does. They're not Indiana and shooting 70% of their shots from 3-point range.
How many points in the paint do the Pacers have right now, Raven? Because last time I checked, it was 4.
12.
Yeah, 12. Okay,
Well,
so they had a few more that ended there. But Seth is right. I mean, at one point in time, I know Indiana, 17 of their 30 shots at one point in time were from 3, because
we're actually
they just weren't getting anything done.
Battle for once.
Yeah.
Winning by 4.
Yeah.
In the 25-21 on the rebound battle, beating them in defensive and offensive. 5-4, 2017.
Was that negative 17 in game 1 rebounding?
Yeah.
I think they got out rebounded by 17.
Yeah. My man Justin Woodard, who joins us from Dudes on 6.
Hey, Justin.
Justin, what's going on, man? How's the first half treating you?
It's good. I've been jamming the 9 out real quick, but wanted to hop on. I'm not sure what you guys have already talked about, but I thought it was big. I think Indiana went on a 10-0 run there when the lead got up in the 20s, and they went on a 10-0 run, and then Thunder responded real quick with the 5-0 run on their own. I thought that was big because you want the momentum going in the locker room. When you play so good like that, you don't want to let a lead go away, and then you're like, okay, it's tied again. So I think that was real big for them to respond right there.
Yeah, we've mentioned a number of things, but I do want to get your thoughts on what you've also seen from Chet tonight. You know, Raven was mentioning he looked a little rushed in the early stages of that, but once he settled in, you saw the great rim protection that he has. He's always great at the backside help as well. That's one of the best things that he does in his very young career so far. But man, when he's got that 3-ball stroking, I mean, that's just such another added element to what the Thunder can do, and he hit some big ones early.
No doubt. Came out aggressive. He had, I think, 9 in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had 9. part of a 9-0 run to end the frame. He had 9 in the quarter, came out aggressive, got to the hoop, I think got some easy ones, and then I think buckets started looking a little bigger for him. You know, you get a little confidence, you knock a couple down, and it's like, okay, this is the playoffs. It's a big deal. It's the finals, but I can handle the pressure. And I think J-Dub came on pretty good late too. He was not good early either. And what's he have? He's got 9 at the break too. So
yeah,
good response by those two guys. Certainly not perfect. They're getting big help from Wiggins. How big has he been off the bench?
Yeah, he's been big time for them for sure. Did I don't know if the rest of you guys are dorks like I am. Like I'm like super dork. So I pay attention to see like what the thanks of what the temperature is a lot of times from just like fans, and the big push after game 1. And I don't know if you guys fell down the rabbit hole like I did. Where's the Larry O'Brien trophy on the court? Did you guys see all this controversy that was happening on social media about how everyone, and they asked Adam Silver, they're like, Adam, like, what do we got to do to get the Larry O'Brien trophy back? You know, back in the day when it was almost the entire 90 feet of the floor, it seemed like. I mean, it was just massive. So did you see what the start of the game was today, what they did?
They put it on the tops, right? Like,
yeah, it was like caddy corner.
Yeah.
But that's the digital though. They put the digital Larry O'Brien. They put 4 of them on the floor instead of the one giant one.
4 too.
So at least Adam Silver listens a little bit. I don't know. I can't picture Adam Silver like just scrolling on X being like, oh my gosh, I'm really taking it here.
Adam, if you're listening, bring back the starting lineups and the national anthem and all the fanfare that goes into the NBA Finals too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. At least something to acknowledge other than on the side of the court that it's the NBA Finals.
We've heard everything Stephen A. and Kendrick have to say. Let's get out of the commercial break and come out and let us participate in the fanfare of the finals.
As a child of the 80s, the Bulls, when they would get introduced for the finals.
Yeah.
And that song, give me that.
Remember the Pistons too? Like their PA announcer was awesome.
Detroit basketball. Yeah, the flames coming out.
Always a big deal. Like who sings the anthem for these is like the Super Bowl. You know, it's a big deal. So
yeah. And the thing is they've had special guests for the national anthems throughout the season. Even a little bit in the playoffs this year, they've had some, but.
You know, Adam Silver has asked a really good question the other day, and Justin's probably heard the tail end of this because Scott and I get in our grumble sessions at work sometimes, and Raven's probably heard it as well. Adam Silver was asked about bridging the gap between the old guard of KD and LeBron and Steph. I mean, those guys are still playing, but they're on their way out to the new superstars that they have in the league, and why doesn't the NBA do a better job of promoting those? And a lot of it, too, is their media partners. I mean, think about it. Like, that's all ESPN wants to talk about. They want to talk about the Knicks. They want to talk about LeBron. They want to talk about the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And then guys like Giannis, they're constantly trying to get him out of Milwaukee and send him somewhere else instead of embracing the smaller markets. And Adam's response was, yeah, you know what? We need to be better. And, guys, there's no reasons why Halliburton, SGA, Anthony Edwards, those guys should be the faces of the league moving forward. And we don't even see enough Jokic. Raven, you brought that up the other day. Mm-hmm. I hope they start to do a better job of that, of recognizing the talent that they have that's in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think somebody asked Adam Silver, said, I know you have a finals right now with no superstars. And he was like, wait a minute, we have MVP playing in the game. Like, yeah, it's like.
I want to know who asked that question.
Probably
right.
A town NBA writer.
Yeah, I know we all are sensitive because it's our state, and we're sensitive because we're a part of a smaller market on that. So a lot of times we do get our rabbit ears up, but that's one of those I think was just you want to look at that person and be like, are you serious? There's no stars.
Brett Favre played in Green Bay, and we certainly celebrated him.
I was about to say that because Adam Silver was asked about these small market finals. And he said, well, if you had Green Bay and Pittsburgh, would you be upset? Those are two small market cities.
But they also don't. They also, how many times did you hear the national talking heads try to get Brett Favre out of Green Bay or try to get Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay, like create and craft these trade scenarios? like they always do with superstars that are in smaller markets. It's just infuriating at times.
That's why we're here. We're here to counteract the East Coast and West Coast media. That's what this show is about.
That's right.
We bring balance to the NBA.
Stick it in
coverage.
your ear, Stephen A. Yep.
That is right. Which reminds me, I haven't even hit this yet. Poor job as a host.
Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is Halftime Hangout with Jeremy Poplin.
Yeah, I still got to find out who commissioned this music because it's.
So that's probably shout out to Daniel Santoy.
Yeah, I think Daniel did do that. He did a great job on that little song there. If you're just joining us, welcome in. A little halftime hangout. 59-41 with Oklahoma City leading over the Pacers. This was a 12-point lead in game one. All right, so let's everyone go around the horn here. Just one or two things that stood out to you here in the first half and something that you hope continues here going in the second half. Raven, we'll start with you.
Rebounding. They're winning the rebounding battle right now, but they need to continue that because they were, like we said earlier, they were minus 17 in that first game. So do that again, and then get Chet involved as much as possible because he's having a completely different game.
Arch, you look like the most comfortable dude on the stream right now. It's just kicking back.
I'm comfortable seated. I still got the butterflies turning in the stomach right now. Just when I want to see how this third quarter goes. Like Raven said, I think we got to get Chet going. We need like game 6 or game 7, whichever it was. Chet from Minnesota series get going here, and J-Dub third quarter J-Dub would be nice to keep it going there.
You superstitious? You do anything, or you got to make sure you're wearing the right version of the jersey? Like I know how I am during Niner games, so nothing that you do would surprise me or shock me at all.
I'm definitely a little more than a little stitious. I'm pretty superstitious. I like the orange jerseys, even though those have faded. They don't really seem to feature them or do the accents anymore.
I've been wondering where they've been for this playoffs. Like, why did they not pull out the orange ones?
Yeah, those are my favorites.
They pulled them out like early in the season. They ran through them real quick and then just did blue and white the rest. In city jerseys, I guess, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I understand we haven't had the city version going on because of playoffs, but where's the orange?
Yeah, I miss the orange. I wish they would do it more.
You guys are gonna be shocked to know that I don't really love the orange.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I prefer the city over the orange personally. Yeah. And I know that the
I will say this: I don't know Arch, but I would really love to hang out with you, Arch.
That can be arranged.
Good time.
He's very good.
Maybe
at
game 3 at your house.
He's very good at pickleball. Yeah,
he's very good at pickleball.
Sounds like a plan. We'll make that happen.
Did you have
a twin brother?
Did you have a buffet going on? Like, what was the spread tonight?
Me, I just had a homemade sandwich and some
my man.
Chips in a sandwich. I don't know, nothing fancy.
Okay. We ordered a bunch of Chinese food and just been going at it buffet style.
All right. Well, Seth, in between your Kung Pao chicken, what do you want to see in the third?
I'm more the same. Step on the neck. I like the way the role players are making a difference. It's not all SGA. So if you can continue to spread that around and everybody does their part, then don't give them a chance to hit a 2-3 pointer at the end of the ball game to break our hearts again.
How much editing you still got left to do, Justin, for the 9? Yeah. I figured you might have some stuff still to take care of.
I do. I'm gonna hop off, but it was fun. What do I want to see?
Yeah.
I think they're doing a good job defending the 3-point line right now. They had to keep that up because that's how the Pacers are going to want to get back in this game is get hot from deep with their 7 of 22. I think 6 of those from the corner. Can they guard the corner 3 for the love of God? Like, good grief. But other than that, don't let them get hot from deep because I think they're going to start jacking it up here, to be honest.
I'm just happy you didn't say trade for Luka back in Dallas. That's what I wanted you to say about what you wanted to see. So
yeah, for the viewers out there, this is a Mavs fan.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I know you got to get back to work, man. I appreciate you for jumping on.
Hey, Justin.
Good seeing you guys.
Everyone watch the 9 o'clock news so Justin doesn't feel like he's doing this for nothing, right? Like, tune in.
I hope Toby gets to do the blitz because I don't want to do it with John in the side room there in OKC. So I hope the weather.
All right, dude. Thanks, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see? People still got to work. People still got to take care of business as they get set for newscast to start here in just a little over 30 minutes or so. Toby, some halftime thoughts from you on Thunder trying to maintain this lead here. And I think we can all well, maybe not, but the run is coming from Indiana at some point, right? Like it's going to happen.
I hope not, but probably. My first half thoughts would be the two big lineup worked. So noted going forward. And, they built this lead with balance. I think 9 different guys have scored. And so I'd like to see that going forward. However, I would love to see SGA here early in the third kind of go into his fourth quarter mode and just try to put him away. Like first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, see if you can build the lead into the 20s and let's take the stress out of this thing in the fourth quarter.
No doubt at all. Well, everyone, hope you enjoy the third quarter as we get set to start the action back here. We'll see if this lead can sustain for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'll be back coming up for a post-game show where we'll take you to the podium as well as soon as this one is over, and hopefully we're talking about a series that is tied up at a game apiece. Everyone, thank you for your time tonight.
Arch, what's your address? I'm headed over.
Make sure you have a sandwich ready.
I'll hit you up in Teams.
All right.
See Seth, appreciate you for jumping on, man.
Hey, enjoyed it.
All right, and the rest of you enjoy the second half, and we'll see you back here on the post-game show as soon as the final buzzer goes off. Thank you so much for joining us, not only on X, but on YouTube as well, and hit that like and subscribe button.
There you go.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma Zone digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television, anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.